Hi, I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos, and I'm going to talk about how to evaluate other things that have been done to a piano other than just tuning. So I'm also going to talk about how to evaluate used pianos, kind of all in one video. So a lot of people will say this piano's right out of the box. The implication being that therefore it's perfect. But actually, in the world of pianos, it's different than like the world of electronics, where that would apply. Where being right out of the box, it's never going to be better. But in pianos, there are certain items that that the manufacturer is really relying on the dealer to handle. Pianos are being shipped all over the world, and they're going to adjust slightly. They're going to, in the factory, they'll kind of they'll get the regulation and the pre-regulation, the regulation kind of in the ballpark, knowing that things are going to shift, humidity changes or whatever it may be, and the dealer's going to handle that. And sometimes it will be done, sometimes it will be well done, sometimes it won't be done at all. So it's crucial to know what has been done to this piano and how many hours did it take. I think that's a pretty wise question to investigate. So ways to evaluate the regulation, there are so many, and frankly, what would make it easiest is to have a professional piano technician there with you. But if you don't, then let's empower you to do that on your own. So quickly to check pre-regulation kinds of items. Okay, let's get the camera right down on top of the. So if you slide this music desk forward just slightly, they all slide back and forth just like this. Just slide it forward slightly, revealing the hammers there. Okay, so let's get the camera straight on. What you should see, if the hammer is properly aligned, it should be centered on the string. It's kind of tricky to see because the camera needs to be right on. So if it's off to one side or the other, then that tells you that alignment hasn't been done. I'm not sure how the parallax of this camera is working, but what I'm seeing as I'm looking is that yes, well, indeed, these hammers are properly aligned. They're hitting dead center on the string. Okay, so that's one quick and easy way to make that determination. I also made a video about touch that you can check out you can check out what's called the aftertouch of each, where you go down to the shelf and you push it through, so you can get more details on that. Determining if the regulation has been properly done that way. So on uprights, let's look at what Bryce is doing over here. So he's doing the right now the regulation. He's doing a step called the let off, where the hammer is supposed to go to within 1/8 of an inch of the string. That's the thickness of that magnet that is stuck on the strings right now. And as he goes forward, it kisses the magnet and it pulls away. And if it's too close, there are problems. If it's too far, there are problems. Details of those problems I address in other videos. So that's one way, is you can go through yourself. You can open up a piano, an upright especially. It's a lot easier to do. You can kind of peer in. Actually, why don't we do that well, let's look at this one. Okay, let's open it up and let's look. This is something that anybody can do. You can get that hammer very close to the string. Does it come to within 1/8 of an inch of the string and then pull away? Yep, it does. Go 1/8 of an inch of the string, pull away. Yep. 1/8 of an inch of the string. Yep. So that's one way. Another thing is you want to determine, is the checking correct? This is another regulation step that the manufacturer is relying on the dealer to take care of, and it ought to be properly done. So what that means is when you hit the key and hold it down, the hammer is held in check, ready to strike again, ready to repeat. And the point at which that hammer is held in check is going to differ. It's not going to be exact for various reasons, but it's going to be approximately 1/2 to 3/4, maybe even a little bit more of the way to the string that it's going to be held. So let's look in here again. So that's being held about 3/4, 2/3, or 3/4 of the way to the string. So yep, indeed, the checking on this piano is correct. Looks good. And then let's talk about dampers. Dampers are another thing that you can check quickly. How are they being pulled away from the string? Is it consistent from one note to the next? The timing of that damper, and then when you hit the sustain pedal, do they all pull away from the dampers simultaneously, or are they kind of haphazard? That's something that you can check on either brand new pianos like I've been talking about, or an older piano. This one's 1960. You can check it on that, or even older, 1900. All across the board, all of these things apply to grand, upright, new, used, very old, whatever. All of these things apply. Okay, let's go back in the shot. Oh, one more thing that you can check is to check your voicing, and this applies especially to a higher end piano. If you were to divide your pianissimo to forte into 10 divisions and play each one consecutively harder, 1 being as soft as you can, 10 being as hard as you can, does that the tonal color develop, or does it hit like a 4 or a 6 and then just kind of remain changeless in its color? So let's try it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So does it blossom and bloom and get bigger? That's one trick for checking the tone. Okay, now back to the world of older pianos. And by older, I mean older than really 10, 15 years old. A lot of these pianos that we're rebuilding back here for customers are even older than that. But it's instructive or informative to use them as kind of models. Here's a box of hammers. Here's a sample of a hammer from a grand piano that has not been reshaped. So
can't get it in focus.
Okay. Let's see, does that work?
There.
Okay, so what you have is these string cuts here. You have a flat surface rather than just a point that is supposed to be striking the string. You have clear from here all the way to there that is actually coming in contact with the string, which is detrimental to the tone. Conversely, there is a rounded hammer that has been properly reshaped, and just the crown of that hammer will actually come in contact with the string. So that's something to look for. Does it have these string cuts, or is it smooth without the string cuts? That's an important thing to check out. And then finally, in the used category, a common area for there to be major issues is the bridge. And so it's not a bad idea to get your cell phone or your flashlight or whatever and check down in this section here. This is a bridge that we've just replaced. We're getting ready to do all the notching because this bridge was all torn up and you could see cracks in each of these holes. And then down here, we haven't done this one yet, so you can see the example. Let's see. Okay, can we get the camera down there? You can see cracks from one bridge pin to the next. There's a crack. that runs along the bridge, which is detrimental, very detrimental. That's a big problem that needs to be addressed. So again, lots of different things that can be checked out, but all of these are just quick and easy ways for you to look at new pianos, to look at used pianos, old pianos, and determine on your own, is this a good buy or not? Thanks for watching.